Hi everyone!
Hello!
Welcome, welcome! Here we are with Teachers Who Tech. My name is Serena Merle.
My name is Cristina Paredes, and we are the founders of Teachers Who Tech Passion for Learning. We're here with our new webinar about free reading resources for your virtual classroom.
This is a part 2 webinar that we started on Monday about how do we read, what are the skills, and what is everything that's involved in the idea of first learn to read and then read to learn.
Yeah, and it's so important because if you are reading, right, if you have that skill, then you can keep acquiring more and more knowledge. But if you're not really good with that and you need to have this skill that is so important, then what's going to happen is that you're going to keep having more and more gaps in everything that you're doing. So we know teachers, we know parents, they want the best for their kids, and we too. And this is why we have now these tools that perhaps can help you now that we are doing all of this virtual classroom.
Yes. Okay.
And so before we continue, let them know that we have our chat open. So we are going to be here paying attention to what you have to share with us. We're also going to share a lot of things with you. If you have a question, don't hesitate, just write it on our chat.
Yes, and so we're each going to just connect for half a minute. Go ahead and share a little bit. Christina's going to share right now with a couple of our groups. And while I get us started, like she mentioned, Christina, I'm Serena, and we also would like to give a shout out to Andres. He is one of our assistants with Teachers Who Tech that is part of sharing and answering questions and really help promote all of our resources. This being one of our biggest drivers, this free resources for our community. Teachers Who Tech, we are dedicated to the integration of technology in education, and not just technology like platforms and microcontrollers and coding, but the concept that technology is a tool that helps us learn, especially now more than ever with virtual learning in the time of the pandemic, that we have to update ourselves. We have to be on top of what is the new trend in digital learning, because there's so many things out there and we have to know how to filter them. The same thing goes with resources. And so we'd like for this session about digital resources related to reading to be a guide, to be a support for you in your lesson planning, in your home with your kids, and just in general in helping to impact the lives of young students to be lifelong readers.
Yes, long readers, that's the challenge for us now. So learn to read, read to learn. This is our second part of this webinar that we had on Monday. If you didn't watch this webinar, we invite you to go to here our webpage on Facebook or YouTube and access this webinar where we talk about the importance of reading. And today we're going to share these resources. Like you said, we teachers were bombarded with all of these free resources. Now, which one is the one that is going to help in your class? It's going to take some time until you find the one that is for you, until you find the one that it's going to encourage your students to be better readers. And don't think about all of these crazy resources that are there that you have to use all of them. No, you can use the one that is for you, the one that is for your classroom. So Serena, she's going to share all of these amazing things. But before we go to that, let's talk about all of these resources. If you're trying to read something, if you want your students to read something, and you have all of these ads everywhere on your page, right? In this case, okay, this is called Board Teachers. Mm-hmm. And you have their Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, you have a coupon for something, you have emotional ABC, and then you can see right there, these are ads, right? You have the X and something here. That means that these are ads. So what is this page really about? Sometimes we open this and it's like, I don't even know what is this. Like if I click here, now I'm gonna end up opening a Space Square website builder. I don't know. So for you to clean this, we have a solution. There is this Chrome extension that is called I forgot.
Mercury Reader.
Mercury Reader. And this Mercury Reader is going to help you to remove these ads. So this is how you do it. I'm going to uninstall actually my Mercury Reader. So if you go to any Chrome,
And uninstall it first. Remove.
Okay, so I'm going to remove it so then you can see the whole process. So you go to your Google Chrome and you're going to type that Mercury Reader and
You put extension. You don't
Chrome
need-
extension.
Okay.
All right. And then there you have it, okay? Now I'm going to click on that. I'm going to add on Chrome, add the extension, and then right away you will see this rocket, okay, right here. All of this is going to be in this little icon that looks like a puzzle piece, okay? If I click there, these are all of my extensions. You have to pin the extension. That means that the extension is going to be now right here. And then you can see it. It's right there. Now, let's go back to this board teacher page. Okay, this is the page. It's amazing. I mean, I have an ad right here. It says skip an ad, but I'm sure that if I click there, there's going to be another ad. And I don't even know what is this page about. Like, if I want to go, let's see. Okay, I'm going to this one, going back to school. And again, first thing that you notice, we're going to load these extensions. Oh, okay.
All these ads.
So what am I supposed to read here? I don't even know.
It's like so much you can't even see the article. You can't even see the text.
But if I click on this, okay, I'm going to click there, and you see it's like magic. All right, thank you. Start using Mercury Reader. Okay, it cleans the page.
Ooh.
So, okay, yeah,
It's
that
just
is
like
true.
a simple blog post
Yeah,
now.
it's a simple blog, okay? And it's funny because let's go back to the simple things, right? Like this is a simple thing. I just want to be able to read what's going on in this page. So this is what Mercury Reader is going to do. If I remove it, goes back to all of that craziness. I don't even know what is this about.
So in this case, one thing you have to notice is it does remove all the pictures. And so if there are text related to pictures, that it's not going to be the best application. There's always pros and cons,
Of
right?
course.
And so it does remove all the pictures. But that being said, how could we use this? If you're going to share an article with your class, first of all, you want to make sure that none of these ads are inappropriate. They're going to pop up something that they shouldn't be looking at, or it's not age related, or it's just completely off topic, and it might actually be distracting for them. So we can clean that up. But the other thing is the attention piece. How many of you, maybe not even having any
You can just
any problems with your attention, look at this and feel overwhelmed. And this is just an example, but there are so many websites out there that look like this, that half of this page, and I already haven't zoomed in, is covered by ads everywhere. And this is so hard to focus, that so many things are moving and popping up and calling the attention, that we have more and more children with attention problems. Well, let's help them out here. Let's put a little bit of support in removing what doesn't need to be there and just highlighting what needs to be there.
Yeah. Especially if you're sharing this in your class, I mean, you have to really be careful with all of the things that you're doing, right? I want my students to pay attention to this and not to go into this, what weekends are really like. That's not the class about. And what if I click there by accident? I don't even know where is that going. So, we just want you to have these extensions that are going to help you to make this clean. And this is only going to work on Chrome. Okay,
Yes.
These are extensions for Chrome.
So once again, that was called Mercury Reader. It's a little rocket up here, and you just click it. In this case, it's not going to do anything. It just removes the ads on any web page. And you have to make sure that it doesn't remove things that you need, like certain pictures or things. If you are going to use it, test it out beforehand. But it could be a really good tool if you just want to print an ad or you want to save it as a PDF and share with your students. You could also clean it up first before you share it.
Yes.
All right, that's one of the extensions. I'm going to remove the other one that we're going to...
Yeah, and for the people who are just joining us right now, if you're a teacher, if you're a parent, what we're doing today is we're sharing all of these free tools because we want students to get more into this reading thing, right? I want my students to read a lot because the more they know about different type of words and meanings of words, the better it's going to be for them to learn new things. So we want that. This is the second part of our webinars where we talk about how we can encourage our students to read more. Okay, this is the second extension.
We're going to show another extension. Let me move our camera over here so you can see it. This one's called Select. Oops, I'm typing on the camera. All right, this one's called Select and Speak. And again, you can just type that. You can type Chrome extension. It'll pop up.
Yeah.
And this is the first one. We've got some Chinese here. If you know Chinese, then you'll know this says install on Chrome. You click on that and it says add extension. Again, that's what we do. This one is going to add, you do not need to turn on sync, but it's gonna pop up this promotion to try to get you to buy the unlimited version. You don't need it. They have 21 languages in the free version, and it's really just for you to have like all these other things.
You don't need it.
You don't need it. So in this case, this is the web page that pops up. You can change the language here if you'd like. This is standardized on American English. Oh, that flag is weird. It looks like Puerto Rico.
In our last webinar that we did it in Spanish, we actually clicked on the Mexican Spanish, so we were able to show them how this works in Spanish. So if you're teaching a different language, you can check this and see if it works.
And they can listen to that being spoken if there's text. So if we go here, let's see. We just need anything, right? BBC. Okay, so if you could just have any kind of text that you're going to read. Okay.
The Avenger.
Oh, this was here in California yesterday. It was orange. If you didn't see the news, our sky was orange. It was really crazy. That's not a filtered picture. That's exactly what it looked like. So you can grab a text.
It's right on top of what there was a little text right under that. Okay.
All right, so any text that is there, you select it, and then, oh, I didn't highlight it. I didn't pin my select to speak, which looks like a little play, and then you just push play.
Smoke from wildfires in the United States state of California has descended on San Francisco, causing the sky over the region to turn an eerie orange color.
And this is a support, the text-to-speech support. There's a bunch of different ones that you can look at. This is just a Google Chrome extension that we wanted to share with you, in that anything that you highlight in an email, you could have it read. And so in this case, this is for our auditory learners out there. Sometimes students need to see the text when somebody's talking about it, and that helps them process. Others need to hear it. And we process auditorily a lot of the time during the day. Right now, you're processing auditorily what we're sharing with you. We listen to the radio, we watch TV, we watch YouTube videos and everything. So our brains are much better at processing auditorily. So this is a support for students. They could try to read it first, then they could listen to it, and they could read it again. And they could follow along as it reads. It's an additional support, especially for students who are behind in their reading levels, and have to read the grade appropriate texts. They could listen to it, and this could be an added support, so they're not missing out on this material and falling more behind. So again, this is called Select and Speak, a Google Chrome extension.
And something that happens in our last webinar is that we try to use it later, but then if you have multiple tabs open and like right now we click on this one and then we try to do another one, it's going to go back to the first one. So you have to close that tab, for that to work in a new tab.
It's not that you have to close it. You just can't have it highlighted because it's a Google Chrome extension, and so Chrome is open. But if you have highlighted text on multiple pages, it doesn't know which one to work. So you have to make sure that you only highlight it on one tab.
Yeah, that's true. Just highlight one tab. All
okay.
right.
So, and that's what it looks like without ads, nice and clear. Those were they called. Mercury Reader, Select and Speak. So, we want to share a couple more resources. We want to look at some online reading things, but we want first of all to think about what motivates.
Oh, I thought we were going to
read it together.
What motivates your students? Yes, and so if this is your first month teacher or your first week teaching, this is not the time where you're going to start sharing the content of your class, right? This is the time where you're going to try to understand who is in your classroom, what motivates them, because if you know more about your students, then you can get all of that information in your curriculum and you can try to create something that is appealing to them.
And don't assume. There's no way we can know what interests our students because every one of them is unique. Just like if we think about food. Just the fact that I like something and I said, this is so good, try it. Does not mean that everyone else is going to like it the same way. Same goes for movies. And so same goes for books. I had a second grade student, I was teaching second grade, and one of my second grade students loved to read what? Clinical psychology textbooks. What a little weirdo. She loved to read clinical psychology textbooks. I think it's because her dad was studying this or something. I don't know. But she did love to read this. It was so funny. I would never know that. We cannot assume that, okay, because you're in second grade and you're a girl, you're going to like to read this unicorn book. No. Especially with gender things. They're for everyone. There are boys that love to read princess books. There are girls that love to read army books. Great. It's what interests them.
Yeah. So how do we get that information, right? This first month is crucial for us teachers because we really need to make sure that we understand who is in our classroom. If you are in elementary school, you probably got these kids, new kids every year. Now, last year, at least you have a couple months to have that connection in person. And then we went virtual, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, now you don't have it. So if you have new kids, you're going to see them for first time in these tiny little boxes in front of you.
Yeah.
So we have to really, really pay attention to how we're making this connection with our students, right? What is motivating them so then we can use that in our lessons for them to be more engaged with us.
Yes. All right. So let's show you some book options, digital book options. Click out. Go out. Okay. So we want to show you. Is this?
No.
I've got the wrong mouse.
Because she's using
There's
a different
two
mouse.
mice here.
And then it's probably not going to work there on the white surface.
It's not. There we go. Okay. I've got a mouse.
Technology. The more you have, the more complex is your life.
It's not working on here. Okay. It's like floating us everywhere. Okay. So I'm going to show some book options. There are some options for younger students and older students that we're going to review. This first one is called Epic. And Epic is more designed originally for teachers to assign books to students, but you can sign up as a student and you can sign up as a parent.
Okay.
And in this, when you're looking, you can search by title. So there's all these things that pop. These are my recent topics: dinosaurs, friendship, cars and trucks, pets. Okay. You can search by topic. And then say I want to read a pet's book. What are they interested in? You can do by age. And it has age recommendations. In this case, what I want to say about age is that reading level age doesn't have to match with chronological age. If a third grader is reading at a kindergarten level, we need to match the reading level to where their skills, the book, to where their reading level skills are at, even though their age is older, because they're just never going to advance if we're giving them things that are more complex all the time.
Yeah.
That's okay. They don't need to know that it's actually for 3 to 4-year-olds. That's okay.
And no one needs to know that.
Nobody
in their
needs to
classroom.
know that.
This is the beauty of a virtual classroom, right? Like, I know this is not ideal for teachers, but it's also really good for us because now we can really give all of these resources to our students depending on their level.
Yeah.
So if they are like a 4 or 5 years old level, okay, now we have the option. You just share this link to this particular student, and no one else needs to know about that.
And that's fine. So it has here, this is primarily for elementary school. We can see that it goes to 12 plus, and that's where we're going to get into some more chapter books and all right, so I did 12 plus. Clear filter. Whoops, oh, I cleared the filter. All right. All right, I can't use the mouse.
Struggling with
I
the
can't
mouse.
use the mouse. All right. And then I can do reading level. This is the different scoring of a reading level. If you have that, fiction or nonfiction. All right, and let's see.
Close the.
Oh, add the states.
There you go. Okay, maybe not.
Okay, I don't know. All right, so in here I have, here's a book. Let me move this over here.
Maybe you can make us very small.
Okay, we're small.
Yeah.
In this case, we can see it's a 9 to 12 age range. That's okay. The thing about here is this is a comic book, so that's kind of cool. There's a lot of
That's
text
super cool.
there. Another option here is you can assign these to students. You can also look at them. Let me go to my library. So in this case, you can have it being read to you. Oh, the comics they don't read because it's really hard for it to grab it because it's an application. But if you had a book with text, there's this highlight option at the bottom, and then there's this voice option.
Oh.
So in here, you can, this is Do You Know the Muffin Man? But you can have it read. Oh, if you click on it, it gives you the definition this is actually has a song to it because this is for really young readers.
Are you getting ready to dance?
It highlights each word as it's saying it. So in this case, this is nice because it's got a song to it. This automatically turned the page. But if you, all right, we're going down there. If you have another book, let's see this, Vegetables and Underwear. Oh, there's no text. There's not much text in here. Okay.
But there's a variety of things here.
There's
I
a
really
lot
like
of
this.
things. Let me go back to the home. So in this case, for example, My Pet Slime. This is a chapter book, and it actually can be read.
Show and tell. School was just okay today. After lunch.
So it's going to allow students to be able to see each word separately with the highlight
There's a
feature.
girl in my class named Claire.
What if you remove the highlight feature?
If you remove the highlight feature, it'll
Let's
read
see.
it,
Show and tell is
but we don't know really where they're at.
Okay. Because it could help some students, but like in my case, it's distracting me.
Oh, okay. And it's also, you can turn the volume off and just read it yourself. You can make it bigger if you want the text to be bigger. And so it fills the whole page. Let's say I just want my students to read this one page on their own time. That is, oh, hi Amy, thank you. This is Epic. Okay. This is what Epic looks like. You can save your books in your library. Got a lot of different age range.
Free option.
Another option, yes. Another option is called Books, virtual books. And books, what they specialize in is video. I think it's actually for video books. Video books. So it looks kind of like a movie, but it's focused on a book. So
Oh, the day punctuation.
the day punctuation came to town. All right. This one,
You don't look like letters.
there's letters,
We're not letters.
but it's a story.
Exclamation point explained. We're the punctuation.
And so it's highlighting the words as they're talking.
Punctuation
there's words there, but the movement of the pictures here is also trying to get students excited because this is a book. And it makes it interactive this way. So they also have some that are more song-like. This one is more of a story, but they have different voices. And so you can also see here, a lot of theirs are more, they have preschool and elementary and different categories, but they are picture books. There are virtual books. And so it is more targeted at the younger student age range. But there are options for older students as well. We also want to show you this website called the Spanish Experiment.
It's so cool. So we share this with our teachers and parents that speak Spanish. And I think we click on the first one, right? Pollito Tito. So that would
Which
be
is
what?
Chicken Little.
Chicken Little.
And this also has video options, so you can watch the video and you could pick the language. In this case, you get to choose. Do you want it in Spanish? Or do you want to have, and you can have the translated English as there as well. The focus here is for Spanish resource options for stories. It's divided, it's got the images here. Each part is translated. And these are familiar ones. And so if you're working on a Spanish immersion program, or if you have native Spanish learners, English learners, then they can also have books available to them in their native language.
It's so amazing, all of the free resources that now we can access. This looks so professional, and I think the students are going to feel really happy about reading this type of books, right?
These are classics too, so they should. And the great thing about that is they're familiar with it in English, probably. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. If they've heard this, they can read it in Spanish now and try to learn that word. Or if they are Spanish learners, then they can have that connection.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are free resources. This one here I really like because it gives options for audiobooks as well as a lot of different texts. This is freeebooks.net. And this, first of all, you get to pick what kind of category are you looking for. Fiction, nonfiction, an academic book, classics, and then we can get here into audiobooks. And so in nonfiction, let's see, there's all these categories of nonfiction books. So we can go into animals and pets. And here, there's all these different PDF forms. These are PDF downloadable books. In this case, this is not, they have a mix of some children books and adult books. You can filter it to have what are
the
levels, yep. And then the other thing I wanted to show you are the audiobooks. And these are children's audiobooks.
Oh, grown up.
Grown up, what does that mean?
Cabbages and cane. Oh, amphibian man.
All right. So in this case, what I like about it is you can click on the book, and it has right here, boom, the MP3 file or the audio file just to start listening to the book.
The Amphibian Man by Alexander Belyayev.
Okay. And it's just going to start doing the audio book here, just like, and it has all of the... Oh, I think it'll go into there. This has just one chapter. But it has a total playtime, 7 hours, 30 minutes. This is a longer book. You can add it to your library, and you can download it for e-readers as that special file. I forgot what it's called right now. But if you have a Kindle or an Amazon Nook or something like that, the Barnes & Noble Nook, then it would be in that format.
Are you advertising?
I'm not advertising. I don't even know what it's called. All right. But they have the different duration times. And these are some of the audiobooks. And why audiobooks? Well, that's what we want to get into as we are finishing up with our webinar for today and our resources. Is that just as our students need to have access to books to read, we need to read to them.
Yeah, it just makes, it creates a huge connection with your students. We're not just talking about little kids, right? This is not only for the teacher who is teaching first, second, third grade. If you're teaching high schoolers, middle schoolers, this is also for them.
Yes.
Right? Like you were saying before, we process a lot of information every single day. Most of that information is listening, right? I'm listening. It's so cool when the teacher is reading to you, because we put how do you say, the spicy on the reading. We make it very interesting or super boring. Like we can have all of these different ways of reading this book for our students. And in doing that, we're creating also that connection. So I think it's very important that we talk about this, because we don't want only the teachers in lower school to do this, but we want everyone to do this.
Yeah. Oh, and related to that, we didn't show YouTube, and you can search books in YouTube, and they do a lot of read alouds. But the thing about the read aloud that I feel is just completely missing the point of what reading is supposed to be, especially if you're listening to someone else read, is you're missing a face. And so they just show the book, and it's on the table, and then they don't even have a face behind it. They just read it. They're just like, you mean Super Pig, right? Need to throw a ball? Here's the pig to call. Piggy. Oh, I think I read it backwards. But they have it on the table, and then they just turn the page. And you can use those resources, but how I would recommend to use those resources is you can show the YouTube video if you have a Zoom or Google Hangouts or an Office 365 or whatever platform you're using. Have your face there too, and mute that video so you can see the pages, but you're the one reading. And so then that way it's much more of a connection. The students are hearing your voice. You can put all the intonation in, and you can pause it and ask questions. You can get prediction, whatever it is. If you're using a YouTube book like that, that's how I would recommend to use those.
Yes.
Because reading is a social experience. If we think about stories that we share, that's what make people social beings, is that we're storytellers.
Yeah.
From the campfire thousands and thousands of years ago, we share our stories.
We don't want to lose that, right?
No.
We want to continue with that. Of course, now we're using computers. We have all of these crazy tools, but something that it has to be there as the main element is us as a human beings. So if you are the one reading to your students, that's going to make a huge difference for your students.
Yeah, and they don't have to see the book. I would say if they're little kids and they want to see the pictures, you could try to read like this, and you could make the camera full screen, and then this could work like this way, and so they could see, or you could show them the pictures right after you read that part. So if I said like, Super Pig, I can see your ball back here, and then show it like that.
Yeah.
This is Elephant and Piggy. I really love Mo Willems' books.
And if you have two cameras, right? If you have the camera on your computer and then you have a webcam, that can also help you. We understand that's a different skill, a different type of setting, but like for everyone, this is so different. So if you have two cameras, you know how to use it, that's a good way of doing it, right? You show the book, but then they can see your face as well, because it's so cool when we can see our teachers reading. That's just really amazing for all of us.
Another type of book I want to share with you, we did share wordless picture books last time. That's a great resource to get students interested, because they love the pictures and they can make up the story. There's no words. So there's no scariness there if they are experiencing that fear of reading. Another one that's really cool, if you've heard of them, they're called Choose Your Own Adventure. This is one example. This is a robot one.
Then you go back and forth.
This is a dragon one. And in it, you get to choose. And this is a younger reading age level. And then it has these options. Like, if you decide to do this, go to page 31. And if you decide to do this, go to page 50. So they get to choose. So they listen and like, which one do you want to do? And then we go there. A little bit older reading level are these Can You Survive ones. It's a similar Choose Your Own Adventure, but it's a higher text level. And so same thing. It reads the text, and then at the bottom here it says, if you want to do this, go to this page. If you want to do this, go to this page. And there's so many options. You can see here, there's 51 choices, 19 different endings in these books.
Wow.
So there's so many options to reread.
And
that's go ahead.
And then you can ask your students to make a book like this, to write a book like this with different endings.
They could make it up and then put the pages back and forth. That's amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing is with that, reread. Just like your kids will watch the same movie 800 million times.
Because we really like to predict what's coming.
They love it, right? You can recite Toy Story by heart in the shower. The point! Cars, Toy Story, for the big one. Monsters, Inc. But that's the same thing we could think about with books. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. They get to predict it. Oh, you forgot a page. Once they start memorizing it and you try to skip some pages so that they get to go to sleep earlier, they're like, you forgot the page.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I didn't forget it. I purposefully.
Yeah, I'm really tired, but you get the point.
Okay. So we need to read to them. And the other piece is
give time during your class for them to read. I think sometimes teachers think that they have to talk the entire time and give all of these resources and show this and that. But when we're talking about reading, actually giving that space for them to read, maybe they're reading aloud, but they mute themselves, right? If they want to do that. But this time, they are by themselves reading, and then you can see them. So it's a win-win situation. They are reading, you can see them. I know you're missing all of these elements, huge elements from your regular class. We can try to create something similar. Of course, it's not going to be the same. But this is very powerful because it's a different skill for me to read, understand, get my imagination going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you give them a strategy and then they practice it right there in front of you. And you were mentioning, I loved it, like you could put a timer on, let's say it's 5 minutes or something, they have a 1-page text, even if they don't finish it. It's not about speed, it's not a race.
Not a competition.
But you can see their faces. And so don't turn your cameras off. And they're sitting there and they're reading, right? And then you see these kids that are like, and you get to see, you could write their name down. You don't have to like unmute and say, Sarah, are you having problems? Because that's embarrassing for the rest of the class. And it's not like in the classroom where you walk over and you kind of, you help her in that moment. No, we still can't do that, but at least you can watch them. And then when you come back, if they're all reading the same text, you could talk about it. Or if they use certain strategies, if we're doing follow along with your finger, or if they have a bookmark and they're doing a line reader as they go, if they found a word they didn't know, how did they figure it out? Whatever the strategy is that we're using, or even for our older students, what I would say would be helpful is if you start the class off with an assignment popped up, read pages 2 to 5, and you have for the first 5 minutes. And if they don't finish it, it's fine. It's just additional. But as they come on, they have something that they're going to do right away. Boom, I know what I'm supposed to do, and I start reading, and then we start the class.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so I think we are at the end of our webinar, and it's been amazing, all of the resources that we can provide to you. All of these resources are free. Sometimes you just have to add your school account for you to get access to this.
Or email account. Yeah.
But these are free resources. There are millions and millions right now. And it's going to take some time until you find the one that works for you.
Yeah.
But we gave you these 5 resources that we think are really good. And Serena's already using pretty much all of those, right?
Okay, so the Chrome extensions were Mercury Reader.
Mercury Reader.
What was that for?
Mercury Reader is for you to clean all of the ads, right? If you open a web page and it has a lot of different ads, you click on Mercury Reader and that's going to remove all of the ads. Is going to make it clean, just like an old blog.
Yeah. And then Select and Speak. And that was to highlight a text and click play, and it would read it out loud so that I don't have to focus on the reading, I can listen to the message.
Yeah. And we have all of the resources. So thank you so much for being part of our webinar. We are so happy that you're part of our community. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have an idea, what would you like us to find information for you that we can support you in a better way, please let us know. My name is Christina.
I'm Serena.
And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.